Now if I treat you the way I treat me, that motivates you to do what we need. Now if you treat me the way you treat you, and maybe we'll be one as two can be. I know I'm good for you, you good for me, we good for each other. All right, people, my people, my people. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. This is the 365 podcast. And today we're going to be talking about fitness and health and mixing that in with happiness 365 straight days out the year. So, as we all know, health is wealth, but it's more than just a phrase. You don't want to be 60, 70 years old, not being able to move around or take care of yourself. You want to be healthy inside and outside. And especially for those that's over 40, you need to listen to this. If you over 40 and you overweight and you trying to shred the fat and get shredded, you need to listen to my man's right here because he did it after 40. When most people think it's impossible to lose the weight because of your age, this man is a walking example that you can get healthy. You can lose the weight no matter what age you are. And let me add, naturally lose the weight. You don't have to pop pills. You don't have to get the what's they on right now? What's the shot
The,
they on right now?
the Ozempics, but yeah,
No, no Ozempic needed.
none.
It's just hard work, motivation, dedication, hitting the gym, hitting the kitchen the right way. My man Q, I've been knowing him for a very long time. This man is official. I have seen him gain the weight, lose the weight, gain it, and then just get super shredded. So he's a inspiration to me. I appreciate you, Q, for joining the show, but I'm gonna let you introduce yourself.
Yes. Thank you for having me. By the way, it's always a privilege and an honor to work with you. We've had many talks behind the scenes, so for those who don't know me, it's Quentin, but you call me Q. I am a IPE pro bodybuilder. That's a natural pro league in which you are drug tested after winning your competition. Um, I happen to get my pro card after the year 40. So, on my very first show. So, that's pretty hard to do for anyone, but here we are.
Hey, so how great was that feeling to be 40 years old and competing? And actually, how old were the other contestants when you actually did your first show?
Well, I started with the transformation competition, um, and I was the oldest when I did that. It was just another competitor and myself. And in order to enter that, you had to have a story that went along with it. For those who don't know, I, like Sean said beforehand, I've gained weight, I've lost weight, gained it back, and then became shredded. Um, so I shared my story, won first place, and decided to take it up a notch and do a men's physique competition, which led to me winning my pro card. So it was a surreal feeling. It was something I didn't expect to get, but I know I worked hard to earn that. So it was surreal.
So this last time when you lost the weight, how much weight did you lose?
I lost over 50 pounds.
Oh,
I lost over 50 pounds.
and how long period of time?
It was about a 4.5, 5 month period.
4.5 months, you lost 50 pounds.
Yes, the right way.
Bro, that is amazing.
The right way.
And you did it the right way. Hey, so explain that. Explain what is the right way. Let's start. Let's start with the kitchen. Let's start because a lot of people can go to the gym, and I've seen people work out for years and years and years, and they look the exact same. So let's start with the kitchen. What's your advice for somebody that's trying to lose 50, 60 pounds and they're starting off in the kitchen? What do they do?
First of all, you got to be honest with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Know your capabilities, know your limitations. Fitness all starts in the kitchen. We can move around and we should move around. But in order to lose the weight, in order to lose the body fat, because that's when everybody says they want to lose weight, they really want to lose body fat. So in order to do that, you have to make sure you're eating enough, and make sure you're eating enough of the right things for you, and knowing your body type, whether carbs are your best friend, or carbs could be your worst enemy. Just be careful and be mindful what you're ingesting and when you're ingesting it. So
Hold on. Let me stop you right there because I think a lot of people believe you got to cut your meals, cut your calories, carbs, cut everything. If you're trying to lose weight, you got to put less in your body. So you're saying it's the complete opposite. You have to eat more. In what way?
well, for instance, if you're about 200 pounds, 210 pounds, and you're eating 1,200 calories, you're putting your body in starvation mode. You're working out, so you're using energy. You're at work, and if you have a job where you're moving around a lot, you're using energy. So by the
Right.
time you eat, you're putting less energy into your body. How's your body going to recover? It's not having enough to recover. So anything that you put in
Okay.
your body's going to think, I need to save this because we're working so hard.
Okay. So when you're not eating enough, your body is storing everything
Yes,
that
because you're
you eat.
using so much energy. If that's your body type, it goes back to knowing yourself and your body type. You got people with high metabolisms, and you
Okay.
have people with low metabolisms. Um, for those who don't know what high metabolism is, your body processes energy very fast. So if you see a lot of people who are very skinny, they don't eat, they don't work out a lot, but they stay skinny. It's because their body processes energy at a high rate. If you see
Okay.
people that they have to work twice as hard to lose 2 pounds, that means their body takes a lot longer to process energy.
Okay. So people that are overweight, let's say you 50 pounds overweight, would how can that person raise their metabolism so they can start to break down the fat faster?
I would start by going to see a nutritionist or talk to your doctor to see if your blood work is correct. You might have something going on with you genetically that may, slow or speed up your metabolism, such as your thyroid, especially for women. Um, far as getting started, if you want to lose that 50 pounds, I suggest you start to track your calories. Put in the information. You can get a basic calorie counter. Lose it. My Fitness Pal. I'm not going to give everybody the plugs because you're not paying me. So what you want to do is put in your weight, put in all the requirements it's asking you, and it's going to give you a range of where you should be eating at. And you need to track your
Okay.
calories every day. And in
Okay.
order to lose weight, you want to have a calorie deficit. That means you want to decrease your calories slowly over time.
Okay. Okay. So it's a whole science behind it.
It is. Science never lies.
Okay. So what do you say about somebody that's trying to lose weight? They counting their calories, but they still want to eat a slice of pizza here and there. They still want a big burrito, with extra meat on it. Every weekend they still want to do a Whopper or a McDonald's, something like that. And then they think they can just go to the gym and work that off. Like, can you eat a bucket of ice cream and then go to the gym and work that off?
Uh, you can. I'm going to tell you that it's going to be like ice skating uphill. It's going to be a hard battle. Um, but I wouldn't suggest it. If you want to eat that slice of pizza, eat that slice of pizza, but budget it in with your calories. So
Okay.
you may not be able to eat three slices of pizza, but you might be able to have that one if you're disciplined, if you're eating what you're supposed to. You know, myself, I put myself at a surplus for the weekends. I know Saturdays and Sundays, I tend to eat a little heavier. So throughout the week, I budget appropriately because I know I may eat a couple extra pieces of meat that I enjoy, or pause, or some yogurt I want to enjoy, ice cream with my son or my daughter. Budget that into your life,
Yeah.
budget that into your lifestyle.
Okay. So so you pretty much you're on sort of like a strict diet, or maybe just like a lifestyle is where you are right now, not just a diet where you're gonna do this, you're gonna eat this for a certain amount of time just to lose weight, and then you probably just gonna go back to doing what you're doing. You are actually have changed to a lifestyle. So you're living this certain lifestyle throughout the week, and you're gonna cut it short because you know on the weekend you're probably gonna indulge in a little bit more that you've done during the week. So on the weekend, you eat a little bit more. Now, how does that affect your progress overall then?
Oh, it depends on what my goal is. Um, right now, I am cutting for a show 5 months down the line. Um, it's going to be a slow cut, so I can have that
Right.
ice cream here and there. It is a lifestyle, but there's going to come a time where I can't have that. I won't. I'll be disciplined enough not to have that. Now we're speaking me. I'm doing shows. I'm cutting for a reason. I'm trying to get God body, as I say. But those who are just living a normal lifestyle and just want to be active and be a little healthier, I
Yeah.
suggest that like I said, be honest with yourself on what you like, what you can cut out, what you enjoy, because you can still have the
Okay.
lifestyle you love and live and be healthy. It's about making
Right.
good choices throughout the day. So I would
Okay.
say budget appropriately, know your limitations, you know, as they say, write it down. Write down what you like, write down what you dislike, and start putting your list together. I like this. I want to enjoy this on Saturday, and make that a goal for yourself.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. So to sum to sum things up, if you want to lose weight, you suggest go see a nutritionist, see where your body is at, then start to once you figure out how many calories that you need to eat a day, you want to slowly be right under that calorie, which you call a deficit.
Correct.
You want to be like right under that, every day, and you don't want to starve yourself. So I guess that will also mean, don't just eat once a day or eat twice a day, right? You don't want to put yourself in starvation mode. And also, so we did talk about the kitchen. So then while you're doing that and you're cutting your calories, well, first of all, how many calories should you cut? So let's say if you are supposed to eat like 2,500 calories in a day, I guess to maintain your weight. Now, where should you be if you want to lose fat
Okay. I want to. I want
and
to.
and work out?
I want to rewind a little bit. To
Okay.
clarify a couple of things. Your calorie deficit is going to be a weekly or bi-weekly thing. You're not going to weigh the same thing as you drop weight. You're going to drop
Yeah.
calories. Okay. So if I weigh 200 pounds this Saturday, come Tuesday, I drop 3 pounds. I'm going to drop my calories probably around 15 to 20 calories less as I drop weight progressively. And like I said, get a calorie counter, and they'll track it all for you as you enter your weight and be consistent. It'll help you out through your journey. So
Hey, I love this because as I'm teaching 365 straight days of happiness, it's the same mentality that you need that same mentality to achieve the greatness. Even with the 365, even with the fitness to get to where you are is literally no days off, no excuses. You stay disciplined, you stay strong mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you stay on that goal. So this is what I love to hear. I love to hear that. So uh, you said to get some type of software to calculate your calories. And I mean, you dropping calories by like 20 calories a day. I mean, damn, you got to be on point, keeping what I'm saying, keeping all of that in order. Like every time you eat something, you got to put down the exact calories that you ate.
yes, if you decided you wanted to cheat and go get an ice cream cone from Dairy Queens, hold yourself accountable. Put that in your calorie counter, and then look at
uh,
yourself going to the red, and you're gonna be like, "Dang, I shouldn't have had that." And I guarantee you, If you're hard on yourself like I am, you're going to say, all right, no more mistakes this week. We're going to hit it hard because I shouldn't have done that. And we're going to bounce back. The game's all about bouncing back. Just like your 365 days of happiness. Your day might not go exactly how you wanted to go. There's going to be a hiccup somewhere.
Nope.
But it's how you handle that hiccup and bouncing back from that hiccup.
Exactly.
It's always forward motion. Quit looking back.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Because a lot of people are having issues with losing weight, but these days it seems like more people want to lose weight and to be healthy. But just like with anything, as far as achieving greatness, you got to know how to do it, and you got to be disciplined. So I'm gonna take your advice too, because I'm trying to drop the weight as well. Now I have been dropping. I got your voice in my head. Every time I open that refrigerator and I'm working out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like 12 pounds down. I don't know how many inches. I have lost more inches, but I'm 12 pounds down on the scale. So I'm definitely following your teachers on the low.
Good for you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Keep going.
So you also said you want to calculate your calories on a weekly basis. So does that mean, like, if you're supposed to be at about 2,000 calories, then at that point, are you saying 2,000 times 7 up until you lose weight? And then you slowly drop that, and so that's where you want to be by the end of the week. So it's like a weekly calorie goal as opposed to just daily.
It's a daily calorie goal. Um, I would say check in weekly, at least with your weight. Check your weight at least weekly. That's
Right,
my advice. Because your weight's gonna fluctuate. It's a
right,
lot to this, and I can give you so much game about diets and water intake, and there's a thing called the warrior diet where you eat once a day if that's your lifestyle and if that's something you can maintain. However, there's so many components that go into the science of being fit and being healthy to this extent that you may need a little bit more maintenance here and there. But for those who are just trying to lose the extra fat, I would say count your calories every day. Check your weight at least once a week and modify from there. Modify,
okay.
modify as you check your weight. So if you're going to check your
Now,
weight,
how many?
if you're going to check your weight every third day, check your weight every third day at the same time every day.
Okay. Now, as far as the working out, all right. So somebody got their calories down packed. They know where they're supposed to be. They went to see a nutritionist, so they know their body type. All right, they ready. They got clean foods. They're like, okay, all right. So I got the part down packed. Now, what do I do in this gym? So I'm cutting the calories. What do I need to do in this gym? How many days a week should a person work out? For how long? Should they go for high reps versus low reps, high weights? What would you suggest just on a general aspect, for everybody to follow as like a reference?
I will always say resistance training. I don't want to say stay away from cardio, but I want to say apply resistance training. Um, Typically, when people say, I want to get into the gym, I want to work out, they want to develop muscle. They want to be able to tone up, lose the fat, and keep as much muscle as possible.
Right.
Doing cardio 7 days a week is not going to do it for you. In fact, you're going to burn muscle. And when you
Mm,
burn muscle, you're also going to have, as you lose the 50, 60, 70 pounds, you're going to have loose skin. So, what you want to do,
mm,
you want to apply resistance trainings that's going to tone your muscles, that's going to build your muscles, and that's going to give you that, physique or that toned look that you're looking for.
right.
And you're also going to burn more calories with resistance trainings over just cardio, steady state cardio.
Okay. Okay. So you get the kitchen down packed. Now you're doing resistance training, and the rest of it is just staying consistent,
Yes.
staying disciplined, right, and
Yeah.
sticking with it, trusting the process, right?
Yes. And you said how often, you know, how how often can you go? Because if you can go 2 days a week, go 2 days a week. But then
Right.
make your goal to be three. Always push
Okay.
yourself. So if 3 days is what you have, make three, but challenge yourself for four.
Right.
You know, it's all about
Okay.
progress and goals.
All right. Staying on the gym topic. Let's flip it a little bit. Let's flip it to the women because, as you know, you open up your app and you see a whole lot of BBLs everywhere. You see booty everywhere, booty pictures, booty weightlifting. Now, every woman is not trying to go to the doctor and come out a baddie. Every woman is not trying to put that plastic in their booty. So, what can a woman do? And let's say you got two different body types of women. You got a bigger type of woman that's maybe, let's say, maybe 30, 40 pounds overweight. And then you have another woman that maybe, let's say, she's about 10, 20 pounds overweight, and she just needs to shape. So the bigger woman needs to shape and cut the weight. The smaller woman needs to shape, but she don't have as much fat to really just chop down. But they both want that sort of nice, what I'm saying, BBL look, but still maintain that thickness without getting skinny. What's your suggestions?
When it comes to women, and it's so unfair. It really is unfair. Um, what it takes a man to do, it takes a woman twice as much to do, and
Mm.
it's just genetics. We have testosterone, and we have a lot of it if you're healthy and in your age and whatnot, to where we can build this muscle and burn a lot of fat. As we know, women produce more estrogen than testosterone, so it's harder for them to shed off that fat. And then you add they have their cycles and whatnot, in which they retain water and bloat and a whole other plethora of things that happen with women. For women, I would say go talk to a trainer, somebody that's well versed in the training women. If you're not comfortable with a man, there are plenty of female trainers out here and nutritionists that can guide you the right way. For the women that are looking to just get a little little thickness to them, and they want to keep their kind of weight, but they just want to shape it up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a lot of leg workouts. There's a lot of glute workouts for you to do. Um, Stay away from that cardio. The cardio is gonna burn it off if you're trying to get them
Mm.
hips and those thighs, because that BBL body is gonna take a lot of work. It's gonna take a lot of work because those girls are cheating. They out here cheating. you know, they go to the surgery
I
3 weeks later, they walking around. But if you want it naturally, talk to a nutritionist, find out what your protein intake should be, which is usually point 0.5 to point 0.8 per pound per body weight, lean body mass. Um, Go talk to somebody and figure out what program you should be following, what nutrition plan you should be following to gain the results you're looking for. It's going to be a lot of resistance training. It's going to be
okay.
a lot of weight training and getting those gains in. For a thicker woman, and maybe a little bit more cardio, some calisthenics, some plyometrics, just to start to lose that weight where she wants it. You know, there's a reason why track athletes and those cats in New York that are lifting weight, doing pull-ups on the stoplights. You see them chiseled. That's
Yeah.
plyometrics. That's calisthenics. You're still using all those muscles while doing cardio, vascular workouts at the same time. So
I
that,
know. No. Now, what about a lady that she's, let's say, she's a little bit on the slimmer side, right? She's not as thick, but she want to pick up some weight, but she want it in the right areas. Well, what should she do? What should she eat? Is that cornbread mentality? She should beef up on the cornbread and the carbs. Like what can she do to to just really target? the lower half of her body, get that thickened up, but not have the love handles and all that. What can she do to gain that weight and still, get that good thickness down now?
Once again, resistance training, a good nutritional plan, and discipline and dedication. You know, she gonna need probably some more carbs, depending on what's going on.
Okay.
A little bit more protein, because my guess is she's burning at a high rate. She's burning calories at a high rate, and she want to put it on. So she's gonna have to, go see exactly how much of what she should be ingesting. She's gonna do the same thing as the girl that's trying to tone, but just probably more of it. She's gonna do a lot more lower extremity exercises to thicken herself up. Anything in the stomach, that starts in the kitchen. Abs start in the kitchen,
Right.
you know.
A lady that's slimmer, she gonna have to eat a lot more. And I I I have this question because I know if you're trying to lose weight, then the idea is you definitely got to eat lean, right? You got to watch everything that you're eating. But then if you're trying to gain weight, then you would think, okay, I can't eat that pizza and I can't eat, that ice cream or whatever because I'm trying to gain the weight. So it's like, okay, so if I'm trying to gain weight, what exactly should I be eating then?
If you're trying to gain weight, you want to eat, keep it lean. If you're trying to keep it healthy, you want to eat lean, but you want to eat more of the lean proteins and the meats. It's what we call
Okay.
clean bulking. Now, if you want to just get big real fast and throw a bunch around, a bunch of heavy weight and get big, you can dirty bulk, but just know you're gonna get a little bit more. You're gonna get a lot more fat with that. You're gonna get those love handles,
Okay.
that back fat. Um, like I said, stomach starts in the kitchen. You want abs, you want a flat tummy, lots of greens. You're gonna
Okay.
a lot of greens into your diet. Lean meat, green, lean meat, green. Maybe some sourdough bread here and there, some oatmeal here and there, but it's gonna be a lot of greens.
Okay. And hey, all this knowledge that you spitting out though, I know you got this somewhere. People can look you up. Up had a call, so people can look you up and get all of this knowledge from you somehow, right?
Well, yeah, you could also look me up on Instagram, Facebook, all your social media platforms. You can find me there. I don't have anything physically out there. I am a in-person type of trainer, or motivationalist or coach. I would say contact me directly. I want to know you. I don't want to know my clients through, just a virtual platform and never see your face. I want to talk to you. I want to help you
Right.
get to where you're at. I want to get to know your lifestyle. At the end of the day, I might be one of your friends.
Right. That's what's up. And I think people are gonna need that one on one because this complicated. I'm not gonna lie, man. This is complicated, and so you definitely need a certain mentality. And with everybody is different. Their body types are different. Their lifestyle is different. Their work is different. Just trying to scroll through uh videos on social media and trying to find little hints and stuff there to help you out, that could be difficult. So to have somebody like one on one you can hit up and they can help you personally and to help track you. Okay, this week, the last 2 weeks we did this, that's not working. Let's switch this up here. Like you're not gonna get that on the video. So I look at these videos of these guys, they be huge. I'm talking about veins poking out of veins. You know what I'm saying? And then they sitting there casually trying to show you how to do a
Yeah.
bicep curl, right? And I'm like, what are you selling? Cause I mean, your muscles this big, bro. And you got an average person, watching this, and you're selling them this idea that hey, you do the barbell just like this, and you can get like me. But at the same time, like, how much are you taking? I'm sitting here on the podcast as a man that done it naturally. And here you are, your muscles as big as my head. You know what I'm saying? And that's motivation, but I feel like that's is giving people a false perception of what it actually is and what you actually done. You know what I'm saying? So for you to have done that naturally and you can help people obtain that naturally, probably not muscles as big as my head, but you can get people in shape. And that honestly, I think that's really what people need. They don't need to keep looking at these dudes that's 300 something pounds and they've been taking steroids and all that for years, and you can't even admit it. Keep it real. And here you are, you here to really let people know. And you a walking example. And real quick, I wanna I want to read what you actually posted on Instagram. So this is the day that you actually won your pro card at 40. And to people that have excuses, like there is no excuse. I'm gonna read to you what the man said. Two jobs, a family of six people in a household, two jobs. You know how hard it is to achieve anything outside of your household, even when you got one job and one kid. Man, two jobs, a family of six. He said, your boy does a lot, but we got our first show in the books. Fifth in men's physique novice, fifth in open, and first in masters. Oh, and I got my pro card on my first show. Did it the first time, 101. Thank you, Ryan Iron. He got some shout outs. Sorry if I mispronounced his name. For encouraging me to enter the transformation challenge last year. It sparked a fire. Shout out to everyone involved with the process. Time to level up. A couple more shout outs to Amber and Meeks. And I'm looking at your pictures and I'm like, man, this dude just transformed himself. Like, what was that day like for you?
Nerve wracking. Like I woke up and I was nervous, but it was a different type of nervous. Um, and I don't even want to say it was nervous. I want to. It's more of a we here. All of that training led to right now, and I woke up. I talked to Meeks about how I was feeling, and she wanted to see what I looked like on wake up, and I showed her, and I took a picture, and I'll send that to you. Maybe you can, if you want to show that later on in life. And
Okay.
I was cheesing in the picture because I couldn't even. I had a vision for myself, and I was past what I envisioned. So it was more of a nervousness just to present all the work I showed because we're being judged in front of a
Right.
crowd amongst our peers that do this at a higher level than myself.
Now,
So,
at that point, this is when you lost that 50 pounds, right?
yes, I went from 230 to 182.
Oh, in 4.5 months. So this
Oh,
is the first time really just showing your improvements to the world, pretty
yeah,
much, right?
just out in the open. Here's all of me. But that day was very surreal. I remember stepping backstage and warming up and doing barbell curls, and everybody just looking at me. And then it hit me. I'm the biggest cat back here, and I'm cut. Like I'm big back here. I look at myself as I come from big stock. So me cutting that weight, I felt small. But I got back there and I'm just locked in and I felt big. I was big, you know. I stepped on stage. I was confident. I probably should have smiled more, but I was just happy to be there. I didn't care about winning. I wanted to win, but that wasn't
Right.
my overall goal. It was just to do something I said I always wanted to do and do it to the best of my ability. And I walked out with a pro card. I
That's
probably
what's up.
smiled the whole day. And after talking to some judges and getting some tips, and some words of advice, I that day was it was a major accomplishment and milestone in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a It was a big thing because not only was I working on my mental, but there's a connection with your physical body, your spirit, and your mind. There really is. It's a trifecta. You know, you can be right here, but you're always going to try to be right here in your physical. This shell of
Right.
ours, we just supposed to take care of it. You know, this shell of ours is just something for us to be physically here.
Right.
God gave you Allah, whoever you pray to, they gave you this vehicle. Man, you might as well shine that thing up. Put some Vogues on that
Definitely.
fucking shine. Do customize it. It's yours. And then stunt. Because I guarantee you, when you put on a suit, you stepping out with your lady, you look your best. You get out there to look your
Yep.
best, to feel your best, to smell your best. Why do it on a every once in a while type of agenda? Why don't you just do that daily for
Right.
yourself? Why don't you wake up and
Right.
start moving so that when you go to work, you already decompressed. That's just another layer of armor you putting on yourself or anybody trying to throw something against you at you.
Right. Take me back to the Q that was 232 pounds, right? So you say you was 232 pounds, and I mean how was your life at that point mentally? You know, that led to you saying, I'm about to drop all this weight. You know, what was that life like, and what was that motivation to say I need to change?
How do you want better? We'll go up before that. Before I was a 232, we'll go back to when I was 280. Let's go. Let's
Damn.
go. Let's go there. Let's go to where I was 280, working a 12-hour shift 6 days a week, and your doctor telling you you need blood pressure medication. You got hypertension. You got this going on with you, and you
Mm.
need this, that, and the other. And you deciding I ain't taking them pills. I think that's where it really started. I think that's what led me going
Okay.
to the transformation. My
So you
mentality at
said you
that,
was 280?
yes, I was 270, 278. We just rounding up.
So you pretty much you lost 100 pounds, damn near
100 pounds in about
altogether.
all together in about 4 years.
Damn. Okay. All right. So yeah. So continue. You didn't want to get on no type of medication. Yeah. Right. You wanted to do it naturally. So yeah, I feel you.
So I started moving, and it was just going to the gym. It started there, and then it started, by me talking to people at the gym saying, and people bigger than me in better shape saying, I found a trick for me. It works for me. And I was like, what's that? And they were like, I eat whatever I want to, but I learned how to cook better. I learned how to cook, Quentin. I learned how to use coconut flour rather than, processed all-purpose flour. I learned that I can still have lasagna if I use turkey meat rather than the ground beef because I feel more bloated when I eat ground beef. Just little tricks like that, and they were in pretty good shape. They weren't trying to be bodybuilders, but they were in pretty good shape. And so that's what I got the thought. You can take whatever advice I give you, but figure out what's for you.
Right.
Figure out what you like, what you enjoy, what your goal is, and customize it for you.
Right.
So I did that. I was in a bad space. I didn't like my job. Shit, I ain't like myself because I ain't feel good. It's
Damn.
hard breathing. you know, Things just went. But I learned that, like I said, it's all connected. It keeps coming back to that. It's all connected. So I took myself and I just moved around. And then I added those little things that for me, I got rid of pop. I stopped drinking so many energy drinks a day. Started drinking water. Okay, let's take it a little bit further. I'm down a good 40 pounds, 30 pounds. I want to do a competition.
Damn.
Let's take this further. Let's reach out to somebody who's more advanced than you, somebody
Right.
who has more knowledge. Let them work with you. And that person taught me my body style, how my
Mm,
body
okay.
responds to sugars differently than those that have my body style respond to sugars. If I decide to say no to sugars, I drop fat like a hot knife cuts through butter. It just goes.
Damn. So you found the secret
For
to
me,
your body type, what your body responds to.
yes, quickly. Right now, I am 209 pounds. I've never been 209 pounds and still be able to see my six pack. I'm not
Right.
super cut right now, but I can see my six pack over 200 pounds. At
Mm,
my best in my past, I've never been there.
damn.
At 40,
Damn. Definitely.
I'm
Right.
41.
Now that's a motivation. Motivation for everybody. So especially the guys that's trying to get ripped and cut that fat. I mean, to go from 280 pretty much down to a little bit over 200 pounds. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment, man. Congrats to that, definitely.
Appreciate it.
Uh
But it starts here.
I will right. So you getting in shape sort of tied into your happiness.
Yeah, you can
Would
say
you
that. You definitely can say that. You can definitely say that. And it's not for other people. It's more of a mental clarity for me. That's my time to decompress. That's my time to focus. And as I'm focusing on my outer shell, I'm also planning and focusing on my mental health and everything I need to take care of after. It's for me, and
right,
my family benefits from it. You
right.
know, we all we all have most of us have stressful jobs or jobs that demand a lot out of us. It's 24 hours in a day. How you choose to use your 24 is preparation for the next 24 that you may or may not have.
So would you say that you have 365 straight days of happiness within your life right now, or at 80 point of your life? Did you have it, or are you trying to seek it? That ultimate happiness?
I think we're always happy. I honestly believe that truthfully, every single one of us are always happy if we choose not to neglect it. You know,
That's true.
it's to me, I think it's really a choice. No matter what goes on in your life or what's going on around you, you have a choice how you want to deal with it. You have a choice on how you want to respond. You have a choice either to say that's an obstacle or an opportunity.
That's true.
You
Now,
know,
would you say Q now at 210 is just as happy as Q was at 280?
no, no.
Right.
I'll be
Okay.
no. 280, my health wasn't right. If you're not feeling right, how are you supposed to feel happy? If you
Right.
physically are in pain and you physically can't breathe, all those outside entities and issues, the, the stress level heightens
Right.
because you're at a heightened state. There's no way you can be physically uncomfortable and be completely happy, you know,
Right.
unless you're dying and you know it and you just want to spend the rest of your time joyful because you ain't got much of it left and
Right.
you know it,
Right.
you know. That's
Yeah. So yeah. No, I feel that.
no, but
Unless you are just 100. What you say?
yeah, but 280Q was not happy. Nah, he wasn't
Right.
because I knew I could do better.
When would you say you actually obtained the a certain level of happiness that can be maintained just throughout the year? Throughout the year, the following year, just what I'm saying, for the rest of your life. At what point did you reach that? Was that when you reached 210, or when you was at the point where you start to see the body fat shredding and you start to see uh yourself getting closer to that goal? At what point did you make it there?
I say once I got over the curve. So that would be right when you start seeing those results come into reality. And I'm not saying the end result, but the
The progress.
progress, the hey, your doctor just told you next visit we're going to talk about pressure medication and hypertension medication. And then the next 6 months he says, well, wow, like your levels, your panel came back flawless.
Damn.
I think that was my mental shift. It was like,
Right.
I really do have the power all in my own control.
Right.
It really is a self thing. It has You're complicit in everything that goes on in your life, voluntary and involuntary. What you
Okay.
gonna do with it? How you
Right.
gonna look at it? How are you gonna address it? How are you gonna address the truth of you? You
Right.
can't lie to yourself. You can lie to I can lie to you. I can lie to all the people who's gonna watch this. You can't lie to yourself. Yourself is always
You
gonna
shouldn't.
you shouldn't, and you can't. You can't.
Right.
And if you do, I guarantee you aren't living 365 days of happiness because you're not living it
Definitely
yourself.
not. Hey, but man, you are definitely a huge inspiration, motivation, a walking motivation. I mean, you did it. It's on social media. The weight that you was at years ago and where you are now, jacked up. You know what I'm saying? I see the pictures on the day that you won the Masters, and I mean, you ain't smiling at all. You looking like the Terminator or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I see that. I see the picture you holding up that sword. I'm like, damn, like my homie did it, man. Like that's what's up, man. So to wrap things up, man, if you can just let the people know, like how can they find you, like what social media platforms you own, or what's your handles?
You can follow me on IG, a vibe called Quentin underscore underneath all of the words, a underscore vibe underscore called underscore Quentin. You got that. Instagram, Facebook, you can find me at Q Neal, under Q Neal, QUE, last name NEAL. Send me a message because if you might be a Russian bot or something. I gotta check. I trust but verify. Let's say that much. Um, Twitter, underneath the same thing, a vibe called Quentin. Look me up there. And if you in touch with, Bang, find him through me. Find me through him. Um, I said I'm an
Right,
in-person type of trainer or coach. I want to get to know you because I want to invest. I don't want to just give. I want to invest into people because I believe our job on this earth is to inspire others to be better, no matter what your gift is. So
right.
I invest in people. That's how I pay my tithes.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, it's definitely one thing to obtain greatness within yourself, and it's a totally different thing to spread it. We all trying to figure it out the best way that we can. So to have honest people out there that can give out honest advice and honest coaching and point you in the right direction, like that's what we need. We need to gravitate more towards people that live in reality and that can help you. So, man, I mean, we could really just go on and on and on about this fitness because health is wealth. The healthier that you are, you will have more confidence in yourself. So pay more attention to your health. Talk to my man's Quentin to get your health in the right direction. I'm getting my health in the right direction. So, hey, maybe a year from now, you'll see my transformation. I'm doing my best. I'm an average person just like you, that eat, what you don't supposed to eat every now and then. You know what I'm saying? So you'll see my progress as well. He did it. You can do it too. I've obtained happiness. He did it. You can do it too. You just got to stay disciplined. So again, Q, I thank you. Thank y'all for tuning in and staying to the end. This is the 365 podcast. Stay happy and maintain your happiness. We out.
Thank you for having me.